great ship, the Argo, had never sailed off to the land of Colchis, past the Symplegades, those dark, dancing rocks which smash boats sailing through the Hellespont Sea. I wish they'd never chopped those pine trees down in the mountain forests high on Pelion to make oars for the hands of those great men who sailed off on Peleus' orders to fetch the golden fleece. And my mistress Medea never would have sailed off to the land of Iolcus, her heart bursting with love for Jason. She never would have told those women, poor Peleus' daughters, to kill their father, and she never would have come here to live with her children and her husband in Corinth. Well loved in exile by those whose land she moved to, she gave Jason all sorts of help. But that's when life is stable and secure, when man and woman stand as one. But marriage has changed. Now they are enemies. Their sweet love's grown sick, diseased. For Jason, leaving his own children, and my mistress is lying on a royal wedding bed. He's married the daughter of King Creon, ruler of this country. As for my mistress, that poor lady, in her disgrace cries out, repeating his oaths, recalling the great trust in that right hand with which he pledged his love. She calls out to the gods to witness how Jason is repaying his favors. She just lies there. She will not eat. Her body, she surrenders to the pain, wasting away, always in tears, ever since she found out how her husband has dishonored her. She does not raise her head or lift her eyes. She listens to advice, even from friends, as though she were a stone or an ocean swell. Except now and then, she twists that white neck of hers and weeps, calling out for her dear father, her land, her own country, all those things she left behind when she came here with this man who now discards her. Her suffering has taught her the advantages of not being cut off from one's own homeland. And now she hates her children. When she sees them, there is no joy in her, and I'm afraid she may be up to some new mischief. Her mind thinks in extremities. I know her well. She will not put up with being treated badly. I worry she may take a sword and stab her stomach, or worse, go into the house in the night in silence and kill the king and bridegroom Jason. And she'll face an even worse disaster. Oh, she's a dangerous woman.
Why are you here? How is it Medea is willing to stay inside without you?
When a master's lot falls out badly, it falls out badly for their faithful servants too. It touches their hearts also. My sorrow is so great. I wanted to come here, to speak to earth and heaven, to tell them of the wrongs afflicted upon my mistress.
Unhappy lady, has she stopped weeping yet?
Stopped crying? Oh, how I envy you, your ignorance. The suffering's only just begun. She's not even halfway through it.
Poor fool, if I may speak that way. And she knows nothing of her latest troubles.
What's that? Oh, don't spare me the news.
No, nothing. I'm sorry I said anything.
Please! Oh, don't hide something from me. We are both women here. I can keep a secret if I have to.
I heard someone say that Creon, king of this country, intends to ship the children away from Corinth. Their mother too. I've no idea if the story's true or not. I hope not.
But surely Jason cannot want to send his children into exile, even if he is squabbling with their mother.
Oh, devotions fade, pushed aside by new relationships. Jason is no friend to people in your house.
If we must add these brand new troubles to our old ones, we are finished.
Oh, but listen, now is not the time to mention this to your mistress, so keep quiet, don't say anything.
Oh, children, you hear what sort of a man is your father to you? My curse on him!
Hey!
No, he is my master, but he is no man to break his family, of that he is guilty.
What mortal man is not? Do you not yet know all men love themselves more than their neighbour? This father with his new wife has no love for his children.
Oh, children! Things will be fine. I must keep them away from their mother when she's in this state. I've seen her look at them with savage eyes, as if she means to injure them somehow. I know this rage of hers will not end. Not until she's turned it loose on someone. I pray for your enemies, not on friends. Children, hear your mother's cry. Stay out of sight. Do not come near her. She's fierce. She's headstrong. Take care, children.
Oh, my children. Cursed children of a hateful mother. May you die with your father, all his house, made all crushed down in ruin.
The sorrow of it all. Poor woman. Do not blame the children for their father's wrongs.
I hear her voice. I hear the cries of this sad lady. Has she not calmed down yet? You tell me. I hear her screaming.
This house is finished.
Oh, why can't a bolt of lightning strike me? I want death to come and sweep me off. Let me escape this life of suffering.
Oh, Zeus! Oh, earth, oh, sun. Do you not hear how this woman cries out her misery?
Why long for death's marriage bed? Death comes soon enough and brings an end to everything. You should not hope for it. And if your husband devotes himself to some new bed, why get angry over that? Zeus will plead for you in this. You should not waste your life away.
Oh, how I want to see Jason and his bride beaten down, destroyed, their whole house too, for these wrongs they dare inflict on me when I have done nothing to provoke them. Oh, my father and city, I left you behind in my disgrace when I killed my brother.
Do you hear what she's saying?
Well, I wish she'd let us see her face to face and listen to what we have to tell her. That might calm her savage temper, the fury in her heart. Go now. Bring her here outside the house.
I'll see what I can do. Right now, she glares at any servant who approaches. She's like a bull, like a lioness with cubs. That's how she looks. Those men from long ago, what fools they were. They made up songs for celebration, feasts and banquets, music to delight the heart. But they found nothing in music, or the lyre's many strings, to end the bitterness of human life, the pain in living, which destroys whole families. What a blessing it would be if music could cure these sorrows. When people feast, why do people sing? It's a waste of time.
I've heard Medea's cry, full of sorrow, full of tears, her shrill accusations against Jason, the husband who's betrayed her. Suffering such injustice, she cries out, calling on the gods to end her misery.
I want to die. The man who was everything to me, my own husband, has turned out to be the worst of men. This I know is true. I'm coming here, outside the house, so you won't think ill of me. Of all things with life and understanding, we women are the most unfortunate. First, we need a husband, someone we get for an excessive price. He then becomes the ruler of our bodies, and this misfortune adds still more trouble to the grief we have. But the crucial struggle is, this husband we've accepted, is he good or bad? For a divorce loses women all respect, yet we can't refuse to take a husband. Then, when the woman goes into husband's home with its new rules and different customs, she needs a prophet skill to understand the man whose bed she shares. She can't learn that before. So, once we've worked hard at this and with success, the husband accepts the marriage yoke and lives in peace, an enviable life. But if the marriage doesn't work, death is much to be preferred. When the husband tires of the company he keeps at home, he leaves, seeking relief for his distress elsewhere, outside the house. Men tell us, we women live safe and secure at home, while they must go to battle with their spears. How wrong they are. I'd rather stand there 3 times in battle holding up my shield than to give birth once. But your story and mine are not the same. For you have a city. You have your father's house. Enjoy your life with friends for company. I'm alone. I have no city. And I'm being abandoned by my husband. I was carried off, a trophy from a barbarian country. I have no mother, father, or relation to shelter with in this extremity. So, I want to ask something from you. If I find a way to punish Jason for these injustices, and his bride as well, and the father too, say nothing.
I'll do what you request.
I'll do what you request.
I'll do what you request. But you are right to pay back your husband for his betrayal, Medea. I'm not surprised you grieve at these events.
I see Creon, King of Corinth, coming this way.
He'll be bringing news, announcing a new decision has been made.
You there, Medea, scowling in anger against your husband. I'm ordering you out of Corinth. You must go into exile and take those 2 children of yours with you. Go quickly! I'm here to make quite sure that this decree is put into effect. I'll not go back to my own palace until I've cast you out beyond our borders.
My enemies have set full sail against me. There's no way I can avert disaster. But Creon, let me ask you something. I'm the one wronged, so why banish me? What have I done?
I'm afraid of you. I won't conceal the truth. There's a good chance you might well instigate some fatal harm against my daughter. Many things lead me to this conclusion. You're a clever woman, very experienced in dark ways. You're grieving the loss of your husband's bed, and, from reports I hear, you're making threats to take revenge on Jason, on his bride, and on her father. Now, before that happens, I'm taking some precautions. Woman, it's better that you hate me than for me to grow soft now and then regret it later.
Alas, this is not the first time. My reputation has badly damaged me. It's happened often. No man with any sense should ever educate his children to know anything beyond what's normal, quite apart from charges of idleness, which other people bring against them. They stir up in their fellow citizens a hostile envy, If you offer fools some brand new thoughts, they consider you a danger, not someone wise. And so it is with me, for I am a knowledgeable woman. I make some people envious, but Creon, I'm not that clever. Still, you fear me. Have I hurt you at all? Made you suffer? Don't fear me at Creon. It's not in me to commit crimes against the man in charge. Besides, in which way have you injured me? You've married your daughter to a man, one your heart selected. My husband is the one I hate. In my view, you've acted with good sense in this business. So, let me remain here in your country, even though I've suffered an injustice. I obey the ruler and stay silent.
What you say sounds comforting enough, but I'm still afraid that heart of yours is planning something. At this stage, I trust you even less than I did before. Passionate people, women as well as men, are easier to protect oneself against than someone clever who keeps silent. No. You must leave, and right away. No more speeches. I've made up my mind. It's not possible for you to stay here. Not with us, given your hostility to me.
Creon, I'm a woman who never begs, but look, I am begging.
You're wasting your words. You won't persuade me.
You casting me out without hearing my supplication.
Indeed I will. I do not love you more than my own family.
Alas, love's a miserable thing for mortal man.
It's time to leave, you foolish woman, now, or my servants will throw you out.
Don't do that, Creon, I beg you.
Woman, it seems you're trying to provoke me.
No! I accept exile.
Then what is it that you want?
Let me remain here one day. Prepare to get ready for my exile, to provide something for my children, since their father has one more insult that does nothing for them. You are a parent too. Do what's right, have pity. Exile is nothing new to me, but it will crush my sons.
For a ruler, my will is by nature tender. And by feeling pity, I have been hurt before, more than once. And now, woman, I can see that I'm making a mistake. For you can have your extra day. But let me warn you, if the sun catches you tomorrow, within the borders of this country, you or your children, you'll be put to death. That is my solemn word. So if you must remain, stay one more day. What can you do in one day?
Alas for you, unfortunate woman, how wretched your distress.
Where will you turn?
Where will you find someone to take you in?
What country?
What home will you find yourself to save you from misfortune?
Things have turned out bad in every way. Who can deny the fact? But nonetheless, you should not assume that this is how things will stay. Do you think I'd prostrate myself before a man like that if there was no advantage to be gained? If I didn't have some plan in mind, I'd not have talked to him or bent my knees. But the man's become completely foolish when he had the chance to prevent me from doing anything by sending me out of his country. He let me stay one day. A day in which I turned 3 of my enemies to corpses. Father, daughter, and my husband. Perhaps I should set their bridal suite on fire or sneak into their house at night, right up to their marriage bed, and plunge some sharpened steel right through their guts. But if I get caught, going into the house, meaning to destroy it. I will be killed, and my enemies will laugh. No, I'll do what I do best. I'll poison them. Yes, that's it. But once they're dead, where will I go? Which city will receive me? Who will give me safe shelter as a guest and offer me protection? There's none. Still, I'll wait a little while. If someone shows up who can shield me, I'll set my schemes in motion and kill them silently. But if events force me to act openly, I use a sword and die along with those I killed. My Hecate, the goddess I worship more than all the others. The one I choose to help me in this business. The one who lives deep with me inside my house. These people won't put pain into my heart and laugh about it. So come, woman, speak courage to yourself. Daughter of a king, granddaughter of the sun, be Medea!
The waters in the sacred rivers are flowing in reverse, and all where Lord and things are once more turning on themselves. Men's plans are now deceitful, their firm trust in the gods has gone. My life is changing. Orders coming to the female sex. Slander will no longer injure women. Those songs by ancient poets will stop chanting about faithlessness. Venus, god of song and singing, never put into our minds the gift of making sacred music, whereas I would have sung a song in response to what the men said. For our lengthy past has much to say about our lives as well as men. You sailed here from your father's house, your heart on fire. You now live in a foreign land. You have lost your husband, your marriage, but too poor woman, and now you are driven out, hounded into exile in disgrace. The honor in an oath has gone, and all throughout wide Hellas there is no shame anymore. Shame has flown away. So to you, unhappy lady, no father's house is open, no haven on your painful voyage. But now another woman rules in your household, queen of this marriage bed. The waters in the sacred rivers are flowing in reverse, and all where Lord and things are once more turning on themselves.
Right now is not the first time I've observed how a harsh temper makes all things worse. Impossibly so. It's happened often. You could have stayed here in this land and house, if only you'd agreed to the arrangements, showed some patience with those in command. Now, you're exiled for your stupid chatter. Oh, not that I care. You don't have to stop calling Jason the worst man in the world. But when you speak against the ruler here, consider yourself very fortunate that exile is your only punishment. I've always tried to modify the king. He has a vicious temper, and have you stay. But you just wouldn't stop this foolish rage, always slandering the royal house. That's why you've got to leave the country. Anyway, I won't neglect my family. I've come here, woman, looking out for you, so you won't be thrown up with the children in total need and lacking everything. Exile brings with it all sorts of hardships. Although you may well despise me now, I could never have bad feelings for you.
How can I say what you are? How can I spit your taste from my tongue? The only thing I say about you is this: no trace of manhood. You come to me now. You come at this point when you've turned into the worst enemy of the gods and me and the whole human race. It isn't courage or firm resolution to hurt your family and then confront them face to face, but total lack of shame, the greatest of all human sicknesses. But you did well to come, for I will speak and you will listen. I hope you're hurt by what I say. I saved your life. Ask any Argonaut when you'd been sent to harness the fire-breathing bulls and plow the fields of death. I killed the never-sleeping serpent, coiled up there, guarding the golden fleece. For you I raised the light that rescued you from death. I left my home and my country to come with you to Greece. My love for you was greater than my wisdom. Then I killed King Pelias in the most agonizing way at the hands of his own daughters and destroyed his household. And after I've done all this for you, you brute, you help yourself to a new wife, and we have children. If you'd had no children, I understand why you want to marry this girl. But I gave you sons. And what about the vows you've made? I don't know if you think the ancient gods still govern, or if new regulations have recently been put in place for men, but you must know you've broken faith with me. So, where do I turn now? To my father's house? For your sake, I betrayed my country. To my family, I'm now an enemy. And by assisting you, I declared war on all those whom I had no need to injure. And in return for all of that, you leave me alone in my misfortune. Now that I have to go into exile with no friends, abandoned with my abandoned children.
Woman, do you expect me to simply stand here? Or, like a skilled helmsman on a ship, haul in my sails and run before that storm blowing from your raving tongue? You overestimate your favors done for me. I consider Goddess Aphrodite the only one of gods or mortal men who saved my expedition. As for you, well, you have a subtle mind. But if I told how Eros with his unerring arrows forced you to save me, I could injure you. So I won't press that matter very far. However you helped me, you did it well. But by saving me, you got in return more than you gave, as I will demonstrate. First of all, you now live among the Greeks, not in a country of barbarians. You're familiar with justice and the laws, rather than brute force. Besides, all of Greece knows that you're clever. So you've earned yourself a fine reputation. If you still lived out there, at the boundary of the world, no one would sing songs in praise of you. And great fame I'd sooner have than houses filled with gold, for the power to sing sweet melodies, sweeter than all the songs of Orpheus. That's all I'll say to counter your account. Remember, you started this war of words. As for your complaints about my marriage, I'll show you that in this, I'm being wise and moderate and very friendly to you and the children. You must have patience. When I came here from the land of Iolcus, I brought with me many troubles, hard ones, things impossible for me to bear. What greater good fortune could I have found than to marry the daughter of a king, me, an exile? On the point that irks you, it's not the case I hate our marriage bed, overcome with lust for some new bride, nor do I wish to rival other men in the number of my many children. We have enough. I'm not complaining. The most important thing for us to do is to live well and not in poverty, surrounded by true friends. As for my future children, I want to raise them in the proper way, worthy of my house, to have brothers for the children born from you, and make them all the same. Thus, with a united family, I might prosper. Do you need more children? In my case, there's some benefit to have new children, to help those already born. Was this a bad scheme? You'd agree with me. If sex wasn't your obsession. But you women are so idiotic. You think if everything is fine in bed, you have all you need. But if the sex is bad, all the very best and finest things, you make your enemies. What mortals need is some other way to get our children. There should be no female sex. With that, men would be rid of all their troubles.
Since he thinks his tongue can lie his lies, he dares anything. But he's not that clever. One word demolishes your argument. If you were not corrupt, you'd ask me first, get my consent to undertake this marriage. But you didn't even tell your family.
Oh, yes. If I told you at the wedding, I'm sure you would have lent me fine support. Even now, you can't stand to set aside the huge rage in your heart.
Liar! You thought as you growed, a barbarian wife would bring you disrespect.
Get this straight. This royal bride I have, I didn't marry her because of any woman. As I told you, I wanted to save you and have children, royal princes, with the same blood as our sons. That way my house has more security.
May I never want a merely prosperous life, accepting pain or great wealth at the expense of the truth here in my heart.
Listen to yourself, woman. You should not pretend to find this advantage painful, or consider yourself so wretched when things are going well for you.
Keep up your insults. You have your refuge, but I'm alone and being banished.
That's what you've chosen. The blame rests with you.
What have I done? Marry someone else and desert you?
No, you kept making all those bitter curses against the ruling family here.
And run a curse against your family too.
I'm not arguing with you anymore. If you want some help, some assistance for you and the children in your exile, just ask. I'm prepared to give you some, and with a generous hand. You'd be mad not to accept this offer, woman. Stop being so angry. If you do, things will work out so much better for you.
I won't accept anything from you. Gifts from a worthless man are without value.
Then I called the gods to witness. I'm willing to help you and the children, but you refuse my help.
Get out of here. For someone so in love with his new wife, you spending far too long outside her house. Go. Act married. The gods will see to it. Your marriage will turn into one of those that makes you wish it never happened.
Love with too much passion turns a virtue into vice, turns the music of the spheres to the clash of chaos drum. Goddess Aphrodite, never, never strike me with the poison dart. I pray moderation, not sensation, rules my wounded heart. Love with too much passion turns truth to jealous anger, turns desire elsewhere to the arms of other loves. Goddess Aphrodite, never Aphrodite, never, never strike me with moderation, moderation, knows my not sensation, rules my wounded heart.
My country, my home, I pray I never lack a city, never face a hopeless life, one filled with misery and pain.
Medea! Medea!
Aegeus!
All happiness to you, Medea!
All happiness to you, Aegeus, king of Athens. Where are you coming from?
I've just left Apollo's ancient oracle
The prophetic center of the earth. What business took you there?
to ask a question. I want to know how I can have children.
You've lived so long without having any children.
Not one. Some god is doing this to me.
Do you have a wife or did you stay unmarried?
No, I'm married. My wife shares my bed.
So what did Apollo say?
Words too wise for human understanding.
Is it appropriate for me to learn them?
Of course. They need a mind like yours.
What was the prophecy?
He told me this. Don't untie the wineskin's foot
Until
you've come back to your hearth and home.
may the gods give you what you desire. May you have many children.
Medea! 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 Why are your eyes so sad, your cheeks so pale?
Oh, Aegeus, my husband has been cruel. Of all the men, he's treated me the worst.
What are you saying? Tell me truly.
He's wronged me. I've done him no harm.
What has he done?
He's taken a new wife. She now rules his house instead of me.
It's completely shameful.
Indeed it is.
Did he grow tired of you, or has he fallen in love elsewhere?
In love? His passion is to marry royalty, Creon's daughter.
Then lady, I understand why you're in such distress.
And I'm being banished from this country.
By whom? You're speaking now of some new trouble.
Creon is driving me out into exile.
With Jason's full consent?
He said not. Still, he's planning to accept it. But, Aegeus, I beg you, have pity. Don't let me go into exile without a friend. Accept me as a suppliant in your home, your native land. If you will take me in, may the gods give you what you desire. May you die a happy man. What luck to find me here. I know the recipes in Spyros. I can help you. Have many children.
Noble Medea, I'd like to grant you this favor. I know the gods want justice, and I trust your magic will produce my sons. Here's what I'll do. If you manage to get to Athens, I'll strive to treat you there as a foreign guest. That's the proper thing for me to do. But, Medea, let me make this clear. I won't plot to get you out of Corinth. If you can reach my household on your own, you may stay there in safety. Rest assured, I won't surrender you to anyone, but you must make your own escape from here. I don't want my hosts to find fault with me.
I accept these obligations. Now restate your promises as an oath.
Don't you trust me?
You I trust, but not my enemies. If you say the words and don't swear by the gods, you might make yourself open to political demands.
Tell me the gods I should swear by.
Swear by the goddess of the earth, by Helios my grandfather, by the family of gods, by all of them.
Tell me what I should swear to do and not to do.
Never to cast me out of your country or hand me over to my enemies, not while you're still alive.
I swear, by the earth, by Helios' sacred light, by all the gods, I'll do what I've just heard.
And if you betray this oath, what happens to you then?
May I then suffer the punishment that falls on profane men?
All is well now. Go your way in peace. I'll come to Athens as quickly as I can.
May Hermes, son of Maia, go with you on your return, Aegeus. I hope you get what your heart's so set on. For in my eyes, you are a worthy man.
By Zeus and justice, and flaming Helios, now we'll triumph over all my enemies. The plans I've made have been set in motion. For when I was most in need, this man came and offered me safe harbor. tell you all the things I'm planning. First, I'm going to summon Jason to come and visit me. Once he's here, my words will reassure him. I'll tell him I agree with what he's doing, that leaving me for this royal alliance was a fine idea, that he's acted properly and made the right decision. Then, I'll ask if my children can remain here. My purpose is not to leave them in this hostile country surrounded by insulting enemies, but a trick to kill the daughter of the king, Jason's new bride. For I will send the children to her with gifts, as if requesting to be spared their banishment. A finely woven gown and a diadem of twisted gold. If she accepts those gifts and puts them on, she'll die! And painfully. And so will anyone touching the girl. I'll say no more about her. But what I do next fills me with pain. I must kill my children. And when I've done that, wipe out Jason's house completely, I leave, guilty forever of my son's ungodly murder. I was wrong to leave my father's house, won over by the words of that Greek man, who now, with the gods' help, will pay the price. He will never see his children alive again! Let no one say I'm a common woman, a feeble one who sits there passively. No! I'm different!
Since you've shared your plans with us, I urge you not to do this. We want to help you, but upholding the standards of human law.
In this matter, there's no choice.
But how can you bear to kill your children?
It will be a mortal blow to Jason's house.
As a mother, it will devastate you.
Who can say? But until that time, it's useless to continue talking. Trevor! Trevor! Go and bring Jason here. When I need someone to trust, I choose you. Do as I say. If you love your mistress and are a woman.
As you requested. You hate me, but I'm here, and I'm prepared to listen, woman. What is it you now want from me?
Jason, I want you to forgive me for what I've said before. My anger you should be able to put up with, since we two have shared so many acts of love. I've been debating with myself and realized I've been wrong. Why should I fight against the rulers of this country or against my own husband, whose actions serve my own best interest with his royal marriage, producing royal brothers for our sons? So now, I agree with what you're doing. It strikes me you've been acting prudently by forging this royal alliance on our behalf. I was mad. I should have worked with you in this design, helped you with your plans, stood there beside you in this marriage, rejoiced along with you for this union with your bride. But, Jason, we women are what we are. As a man, you should not repay foolishness with foolishness. So now I see things in a brighter light. The children. Oh, my children. Will you keep holding out your arms like this through all the many years you have to live? Oh, my eyes keep filling up with tears now that I've stopped this horror with your father.
My eyes too weep pale tears. I pray this course of evil proceeds no further.
Lady, I approve of what you're saying now. Not that I blame you for what went on before, for it's quite natural in the female sex to get angry when her husband set up secret schemes to plan another marriage. But your heart has changed now for the better, although it took a while. You now understand the wiser course of action. In doing so, you're acting like a woman of good sense. As for you, my children, your father has not been neglectful. With the gods' help, I've made provision for you. At some future date, you'll be rulers here in Corinth, alongside your new brothers. But first, you must grow up. As for the rest, your father and the God who smiles on him will take care of that. I pray I see you mature into fine young men, victorious over all my enemies. Medea, what have I said? Does that not make you happy?
It's nothing. I'm thinking of the children.
Cheer up! I will see that they are well looked after.
I will. Cheer up. I trust what you have said, but it's a woman's nature to shed tears.
But why be so tearful with the boys?
I'm their mother. And when you made that prayer about them growing up, I felt pity, wondering about their future. So, let's discuss the reasons for your visit. I've mentioned some, but there's another. Since the royal house thinks me an enemy, I've decided to leave this country and go into exile. But you, Jason, should beg Creon to spare our boys, not to banish them so they can grow up here under your direction.
Well, I don't know if I can convince him.
You could tell your wife to ask her father not to send the children into exile.
A good idea. I think I can persuade her.
Oh, you will, if she's a woman like the rest. And let me help you. I will send her gifts. By far the most exquisite things I've ever seen. A finely woven gown and a diadem of twisted gold. The children will bring them to her as offerings for the happy royal bride. You Get those presents right away. She has more than one reason to be happy now, that wife of yours. In you, she found a very worthy husband to share her bed. And now those gifts, which Grandfather Helios once gave to his descendants. What she's getting will be worthy of her.
What are you doing, you foolish woman? Disposing of these things of yours? Do you think the royal house lacks clothes or gold? Keep them. Don't give them away. And if my wife values me, she'll set more store on what I want to do than on rich possessions. I'm sure of that.
Don't be. Even the gods, they say, are won by gifts. And amongst mortal man, gold works more wonders than 1,000 words. And to spare my children banishment, I would trade more than gold. I would give my life. So, children, when you get inside the palace, you must ask this new wife of your father, my mistress, not to send you into exile. And when you present those gifts to her, you must make sure she takes them from you into her own hands. Go now, be quick about it, and bring back the happy news your mother so desires to hear.
I've no longer any hope that these children stay alive. I've no longer any hope as they stroll to their own slaughter.
The bride will take her diadem. She'll take her golden ruin. With her own hand, she'll fix across her lovely hand the jewelry of her death. The unearthly gleam, the charm will tempt her to put on her robe, an ornament of twisted gold.
Her marriage bed will lie among the dead. That's how she'll die. That's the trap she'll fall in.
She can't escape destruction.
I've no longer any hope. How ignorant you are, bringing death to both your sons, to your bride a fatal end. Most unfortunate man, how wrong you were about your destiny. Next, I mourn your sorrows, unhappy mother of these children, intent on slaughtering your own sons because your lawless husband left you at your marriage bed
And now lives with another wife.
My lady, the children will not be sent into exile. The royal bride was happy to accept with her own hands the gifts you sent her. Now the boys have made their peace with her. What's wrong? Things have turned out well.
Sadness is everywhere.
Have I mistakenly said something bad? Am I wrong to think this news of mine is good?
Sadness is everywhere.
Oh, be happy. One day your children will bring you home.
But before that, there are others I have to bring to their home.
You are not the only mother who has been separated from her children. We mortals must bear our bad times patiently.
I will. Now go inside and carry on. Give the children their usual routine. Go. Oh, my children. You still have a city and a home where you can live. But I must go to some other place, in exile, before I've had my joy in you, before I've seen you happy, or help to decorate your marriage bags, your bride will carry herself. Ah, how miserable my unforgiving self has made me. I raised you and all for nothing. cruel hardships, pains in childbirth, all for nothing. Once, in my foolishness, I had great hopes in you. It's true that you would care for me in my old age and dress my body when I'm dead. But those tender dreams have been destroyed. For I will live my life without you both, in sorrow. Children, why are you looking at me like this? Why smile at me? That last smile of yours? Alas, what shall I do? My heart breaks when I see those eyes, my children's smiling eyes. I cannot do it. Farewell, my plan. Why should I harm them as a way to hurt their father and then suffer twice his pain myself? No, I want to leave. So farewell to what I planned before. Ah! What do I really want? My enemies escaping punishment while I'll become someone they ridicule? What coward I am to even let my heart admit such sentimental reasons. My hands will never lack the strength for this. Ah! And yet my heart, filled with this murder. You're made of stone, but leave the boys alone. They're my children. No! By those avenging furies, I will never give up my children to be humiliated by my enemies. The children must die. So I, their mother, who gave them life, will kill them. Now, I want to say farewell. Your hands, children. Oh, how I love those hands. How I love those lips, faces, the bearings of such noble boys. I wish you happiness, but somewhere else. Your embrace, so tender. Your skin, so soft. Your breath, so sweet. I understand too well the dreadful act I'm going to commit. But my judgment can't check my hate. And this incites the greatest horrors human beings do.
You must escape! Leave this place! You've done an awful deed, broken every law! Take ship and go by sea, or go overland by chariot, but you must go from here!
What has happened that I have to escape?
The king's daughter is dead. Her father, Duke Creon, you poisoned them!
Oh, great news!
What's that? Are you insane to commit this crime against the royal house and rejoice when you hear the news without being afraid?
Tell me about their deaths, so I might take some pleasure.
When your two children came with their father and went into the bride's home, we servants who had shared in your misfortune were glad. For a rumour spread at once from ear to ear that you and your husband's previous quarrel was now over. Someone kissed the boy's hands, someone else their golden hair. In my joy I went with the children right inside, into the woman's quarters, our mistress, whom we now look up to instead of you, At first, had eyes for Jason only, and when she caught sight of your 2 children, she veiled her eyes and turned away her white cheek, offended by their presence. But your husband tried to change the young bride's mood and soften her anger with these words. Don't be so hard-hearted with your family. Check your anger and turn your face this way. Look at us again and count as friends of yours those that your husband thinks are friends of his. Now, receive these gifts, and then, for my sake, beg your father not to exile these 2 boys. Once she saw the gifts, she didn't hold out, but agreed in everything with Jason. And before your children and their father had gone any distance from the palace, she took the richly embroidered gown and put it on. Then arranged the golden crown, fixing it in her hair to bright mirror, smiling at her lifeless image there. Then she stood up from her seat and strolled across the room, moving delicately on her pale feet, delighted with the gifts, with a great many glances to inspect the straightness of the dress against her legs. But then it happened. She changed colour, staggered back and sideways, and fell back into her chair again, almost collapsing to the floor. An old woman, one of her servants, thinking it was a fit inspired by Pan or some other god, shouted in festive joy until she saw the white spit foaming in her mouth, her eyes bulging out of their sockets, and her pale skin quite drained of blood. The servant screamed again. This time, to make up for her previous shout, she cried out in distress. Another slave ran off at once to fetch the king, and another to the girl's new husband to tell him the grim fate his bride had met. The whole house ran with people's footsteps as they hurried back and forth. All this happened by the time it would take a fast runner to complete 100 yards, and then her eyes opened. The poor girl woke up, breaking her silent fit with a dreadful... She was suffering a double agony. Around her head, the golden diadem shot out, amazing molten streams of fire, burning everything, while the fine woven robe, your children's gift, consumed the poor girl's flesh. She jumped up from her seat and ran, all of her on fire, tossing her head, her hair, this way and that, trying to get rid of the golden crown, but it was fixed in place, and the more she shook her head, the fiercer the fire blazed. At last, she fell to the ground, overcome by the agony. No one could have recognized her save her father. Her eyes had melted. Her face, no more her face. On top of her head there was blood dripping down, mixed with fire. And the flesh was peeling from her bones, like resin oozing from a pine tree. No one dared touch the body. What we'd seen had warned us. But her father rushed into the house, and not knowing what had happened, threw himself at his daughter's side, crying, "Die! My poor child! What god has been so cruel to destroy you in this way? Who's taken you from me, an old man near my death? I wish I could die with you." He ended his lamenting cries, but then, as he tried to raise his own body up, he was entangled in that woven dress, like ivy wrapped around a laurel branch. He struggled dreadfully to get up onto his knees, but she held him down, and if he used force, he tore his ancient flesh clear off the bone, till at last he gave up, exhausted with pain. He yielded and gasped out his life. So the two of them lie dead, entwined. To you, Medea, I have no more to say, for you know full well the punishment that is coming. As for human life, it seems to me, and not for the first time, nothing but shadows. And I might say, without feeling any fear, those mortals who seem wise, who choose their words carefully, are guilty of the greatest foolishness. Among human beings no one is happy. Wealth may flow in to produce a man more lucky than another, but no man is ever happy.
No man is ever happy.
No one.
This is the day the gods tighten around Jason.
Poor Creon's daughter. How we pity your misfortune. You're gone, down in Hades' home. The price you pay for marrying Jason.
Mother, who gave them life, will take it. Arm yourself with this, my heart, and go to where unhappiness begins and ends. Forget you love your sons. Forget you gave them life. Today, remember nothing. Tomorrow, mourn them, for even though you kill your children, no! You once loved them deeply.
in giving birth was useless, wasted.
Those children you so love, you bore them all in vain.
You women! Where's Medea? She'll have to hide herself under the earth, or else fly up to heaven's overarching vault if she's going to escape the punishment that's coming to her. Did she really think she could kill the rulers of this land and get away unharmed? But at this point she's no concern of mine. Those whom she has wronged will take care of her. I've come for the boys.
You most unfortunate man. If you knew the full extent of your misfortune, you would not say this.
What is it? Does she plan to kill me too?
Your boys are dead. Killed by their own mother's hand.
Yeah! What are you saying? Woman! You have destroyed me!
Your children are dead. You must fix your mind on that. They're gone.
Did you come here to find their bodies? Or me? The one who murdered them? If you want something from me, speak. Only words can reach me now. For Grandfather Helios has sent his chariot to protect me from my enemies.
You accursed woman! Most hateful to the gods, and me, and all mankind! You dare to take the sword to your own boys, you, the one who bore them, and to leave me destroyed and childless. Having done all this, after committing these atrocious crimes, can you still look upon the earth and sun? May you be destroyed. Now I understand. I must have lost my mind to bring you here, from a savage country to a Greek home. You were truly evil then. You betrayed your father and the land that bore you. But the avenging fury meant for you, the gods have sent to me. You killed your brother in your home. Then you came aboard our fine ship, the Argo. That's how you began. When you married me and bore my children in your lust for sex and our marriage bed, you killed them. No woman from Greece would dare to do this. But I chose you as my wife above them all. And that has proved to be a hateful marriage. It has destroyed me. You're not a woman. You're a beast. A monster. But my insults, multiplied 1,000-fold, don't hurt you. Your heart's too hard for that. So be gone! You shameful murderer of your children. Let me lament my fate. I'll get no joy from my new bride. Nor will I ever see my 2 children, the boys I bred and raised. They're lost to me.
The gods already know what I did for you and what you did to me. So if you want, call me a monster, a beast, for I've made contact with your heart at last.
You have your own share of pain and sorrow.
That's true. But there's relief in knowing you cannot laugh at me.
Oh, my children, you had such a monstrous mother.
Oh, my children, victims of your father's monstrous actions.
At least it was not my hand that killed them.
No, it was your betrayal that killed them.
What woman would murder them for that?
What woman would find your crimes forgivable?
A woman of good sense.
Well, your sons are gone, and that pain pierces your heart.
I can end this.
How? Tell me. I wish you to.
Let me bury our dead sons and mourn them.
Impossible. My own hand will bury them. I will take them to Hera's sacred land, so no enemy of mine can commit sacrilege by tearing up their graves. And in this place I'll initiate solemn celebrations with mystic rites, future atonement for this wicked murder. I will go now to Athens. As for you, justice is approaching. You'll die a coward. Your head smashed in by a moldy relic of the great ship, the Argo. Only then will the bitter story of our love come to an end.
May the avenging fury of our children destroy you! May you find blood justice, you polluted wretch! Child killer!
Go and bury that wife of yours.
I've lost both my sons.
Your grief's not yet begun. Wait until you're old.
Oh, such loving children.
Their mother loved them. You did not.
How I long to see their faces, to hold them in my arms. By the gods, I beg you, let me feel their tender skin.
Never!
Zeus! Do you hear how I'm being treated? What I must endure from this wretch? This abomination! All my life I will honor them with grief. The gods bear witness how you have killed my sons and refused to let me hold them or bury them. How I wish I'd never been a father.
not come to pass.
What we do not